To silence.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reactions. Oh, sorry. Hey, welcome back to our Stupid Reactions, you idiots. I'm Korbin.
I'm Rick.
I feel like it's much better to be quiet right now.
It feels really nice. Feels really nice.
Today, we're doing a movie review, everybody. Just really quietly. It's going to be a really quiet movie review. Today, we're doing a review of the new film that just came out, as you all know, obviously. K.G.F. Chapter 2. The much, much anticipated film, 3, 4, some years in the making. Obviously, we've seen the first. We re-reviewed the first, so you can see both of those reviews if you'd like. We enjoyed the first one immensely. This will be a this will be a non-spoiler review because obviously it's new.
Yes.
Even though I'm pretty sure everybody's going to go see it regardless.
Then you can stay through the whole thing because at the back end will.
Yeah, if we want to talk about spoilers, we'll talk about it. But this is going to be a non-spoiler review. So if you haven't watched it, you can watch this, I guess.
My ears are. It was brutally, painfully loud.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the theater or if it was how the film literally was. I told because obviously I don't know the whole parameters around that.
Yeah,
in terms of
you
have to play this film at a certain decibel.
And I like loud movies.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. My ears are ringing like I was at a banging concert for 2.5 hours.
It was extremely loud. So I don't know how long it's going to be. Obviously,
but apart from that aside, because I can set that completely aside.
Yeah,
there's a lot I would like to talk about, and none of it's good, kids.
Yeah. There's some.
Not for me.
Cinematography.
Okay.
Yeah. We just said none. I'm telling you.
I just said okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so we'll get into it here.
Yeah.
Once again, it's a non-spoiler review. I feel like this is, I guess a classic sequel trap almost, because they went a completely different direction than the first film. 1,000%.
No spoilers yet.
Yeah. But I think you said in the original or the re-review, that film was like a slingshot, right?
Yeah. It kept pulling back.
Action.
Yep. Tension to action. Tension to action.
This one was like a slingshot, but that never shot.
Right.
So it was like
I don't even think I didn't even get the tension pulled back.
No, I'm saying they're trying to do that to you.
Yeah, it didn't work.
They're trying to pull it,
yeah,
and then absolutely zero happens.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 times.
Remember the. Well, I'll save that for the spoiler section.
Yeah. And so it's the first one. Obviously, I said in the re-review. Once again, you can check that out. Action carried that film. It's really what carried the film along, and your intrigue and like Rocky, what's he gonna do next?
Right, and the surprise second half epic hero mythology story.
Yeah, I don't think you get any of that.
Oh, I know you don't get any of that.
They went like a political drama, but tried to play it like this big action film.
Micah, who actually went and saw it with us, he when we were done, he left. We all went in separate cars, and I wanted to get his take on it. And actually, he did not say it's pretty good. He said, it was like every scene was a trailer for the movie that hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
This is the most overscored film I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, man. Is it?
It is. And it's not just that it's overscored. It's that, like, I would say of the 2.5 hours.
2 hours 45.
Yeah, of the 2:45, 2 hours of it, and I'm not being hyperbolic or exaggerating.
No.
2 hours of it is not just loaded with score, but loaded with these singular notes that push the way they do in the highest climactic moment of a battle sequence.
Yes.
That happened in virtually every scene.
But it's like after a political person says something.
Yeah, or is making a speech, or...
And then nothing happens. Like in the first one, that happened. Obviously, I don't think it's too different from in terms of obviously, like, somebody would say something, but then the next scene, they would be doing something and action would be happening.
I'm
right?
not kidding. The feeling for this one, it could have been Rocky could have gone into a restaurant and they gave him onion rings. And he looked at it and he said, "These are onion rings." "Yes, I ordered fries."
Yeah. Oh, I covered my ears for
Much of the film.
the last hour,
Yeah.
and I could hear perfectly fine.
I sat like this.
with my ears closed.
I had to sit like
it's
this.
not that I couldn't hear the dialogue. I couldn't hear nothing. I could
no.
hear it perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine with my ears covered.
It just didn't make them bleed as
It really
much.
did. And you may be writing in the comments about the fact that, well, you didn't appreciate the movie because of the sound being so loud. No.
Oh, no, it was a snooze fest.
We love film. I was thinking about this driving over. So, like, the things that matter most to me in my life, and I'm not kidding. So, like, the nature of reality and God and the purpose of why we exist. That's number one. Number two, my family and my immediate friends who are like family and all of our purpose and collective life together.
Yeah.
Which includes my health, right? Third, no joke, this art form. Acting, motion pictures. So, and there are times where we'll say, you know, we really don't want to rip on a film and don't want to, and we really, really don't. There's really absolutely, I'm so disappointed because the expectations were so
His
high.
expectations were RRR, that level.
And they should be there for this film.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You had in the first one.
They should be.
And they got more money. And this is where I think they went completely wrong, is because they thought that they could just make a film completely different than how they made the first one, which full of action. And there was one good fight scene, maybe two tops. And the good fight scene was at the end when you're already bored from 2.5 hours.
Correct.
Like, obviously, there was the big epic fight scene with, obviously, it's not a spoiler, but obviously, Sanjay Dutt and Yash, obviously, they're going at it. It's a good fight scene. I'm not going to lie. It's a good fight scene.
But you don't care.
2.5 hours
You just want it to be over.
That should have been, like, fucking an hour into the film.
Yeah. And basically, that last 15 minutes is the trailer.
Yeah.
The darkness that we were talking about, the grittiness, the Mad Max. You get that in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. And then they didn't know how to end it like 15,000 times. But obviously, I mad just because I was, wanted it to end.
No, it
like,
was. This is one of those where you're sitting there and you're literally saying, please, God, end this now, please.
Yeah. And I guess they thought they could make this just massive film and no one would care that they're, it's this political drama now, which maybe, obviously, I know it's breaking the records for everything. Obviously, everybody's going to see it. Everybody that saw this maybe already saw it or is still going to see it regardless of our review. And that's fine. If you love this film, cool, that's your opinion. Obviously, this is our opinion and you're here for that, right? But man, I would never see this film again.
Oh, I'd never see it again, and I would tell other people, this is, guys, hate me. I'm gonna be honest with you. One of my least favorite films I've ever seen. It was brutal to endure.
Here's a big reason for that is obviously, and I say this all the time, the biggest sin a film, I mean, there's lots of sins obviously a film can commit. One of the biggest, especially for an action film, is to bore people. You can't bore people,
but
because then everything after that, regardless of if it's good, they're not going to care.
But we can get into this in the spoilers, and I'll tell you what, this didn't bore me in the same way that Pushpa bored me.
It kind of did for me.
It was worse.
Yeah,
this was worse for me because not only did I not understand what was happening, and I didn't understand why we weren't getting action and why we didn't stick to the mythology, I also was sitting here and not only not caring. It also took twists, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section, where I was like, why did you do this?
And they didn't even bring back the stuff it was in the first. Like the stuff that in our re-review that I was
like mattered.
I was like, oh, I'm sure we're going to get that in the second one, right? We're going to get... No.
Well, if story mattered.
It's kind of like what Game of Thrones did with the last one, except they went all action and no story. This went all story, but pointless story. And no action.
Yes, this would be the final episode of Game of Thrones, sans action.
Yes. I mean, the problem with
the level of disappointment.
Obviously, the way Game of Thrones did it, their story disappointed. This story obviously disappointed, but it went all story and like almost political story. And I'm like, is that what K.G.F was? No, it was a gangster action film. It's like if you went into John Wick and was like, "Hey, give me political stuff with Keanu Reeves."
And don't let him shoot the gun, except maybe once at the end.
Yeah. Ah, man.
Yeah. Okay, spoilers.
Yeah, obviously.
All right, we'll
so
go
if
into
you
the
haven't
spoiler
watched it,
section.
go watch it, come back.
Yeah, if you've seen it, we assume you're watching at this point. And one of the things that shocked me was how there were more moments. Micah texted me this as well. He was like, in his text, he said, they wanted us to think this guy was a badass, and I was waiting for him to show me how much of a badass he is.
Like the first one.
Like, there were so many moments that was just slow motion, Rocky moving and bitchin' music. And it's like, what are we doing? Is this a watch commercial?
Yeah. It was, like I said, completely different from the first one where Yash was kicking ass almost every scene, right?
And I was rooting for him.
Yeah.
In this movie, I'm like, actually, shoot him in the head because this guy's a dick.
Yeah.
Like, why did I care about this guy's story in the end?
Yeah.
He did it was almost like at the end they were going for him to be Antonio Montana.
Yeah.
That like this dude who was nature versus nurture and ends with everything and dies in the water. That's what happened, spoiler alert, Scarface, it came out in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And I was like, and because sincerely, he went from the Messiah to Antonio Montana, who used all of the people. And in the end, it was just about getting the gold, because if my mom gave me a goal, I will do anything I need to do to get that goal achieved. And that's not meritorious.
Yeah, they almost went the...
He went from Messiah to Antonio Montana.
Yeah, they almost went the Batman versus Superman route. Your mom's name is Martha? My mom's name is Martha?
Well, and I was like, okay, that's his dad?
Okay.
All right.
Well, that was a letdown.
And why do you know that's your dad? I thought you were left in a thing hanging on a tree.
Yeah, and obviously the thing is this real at all? Is this just the story that people tell? Obviously, that was in the first one. But it's like, I don't care anymore. I cared in the first one, and I wanted to see the second one, and I wanted to see him kicking ass, and I wanted to see Rocky-centric, being for the people, but they didn't give that to me.
No.
They completely went the opposite direction, and
the story was all over the place.
Yeah, it was
just all
and
over the
not
place.
interesting all over the place.
No, and
it'd be one thing if it was like balls to the wall action and it was like stuff going on, and I'm like, okay, at least I got some great action, right? And I can enjoy it, because in the first one, obviously, you had some story stuff that was not great,
like war.
Yeah,
war was, but at least you got great action throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. I don't understand why they decided to change. You have umpteenth amounts of money after the first one, and you decided to go with a political drama, and I don't get it. And the scenes like the first couple big scenes with Yash, right? He's not really even fighting.
No.
The first good one was when he met Sanjay Dutt for the first time, and that was an okay fight scene.
Right.
The great fight scene didn't come till the end.
Right.
Other than that, it was other people firing guns,
or
him firing guns, and I'm
right.
like, what? And then the I was just groaning by the end because a white person came on. It was terrible.
My goodness!
And then they did
literally, when the white guy started to talk, he was so putridly awful. I said out loud, "Holy shit!"
And then they went into this love song, like 2 hours 25 into the film, and I was like,
I knew the moment the crosshairs went on Rocky's head, I'm like, it's not going in there. It's going in the pregnant mom's stomach. I guarantee it.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. And I'm fine with straining credulity, right? I really am.
The first one strained credulity.
I've grown to expect that with the defying physics and things just not making sense. There was so much of this that I got to the point where I was like, did you not even think? Is this just all we're going to do is just like blow stuff up, and some of the CGI actually doesn't work, guys.
Yeah.
But like, are we really supposed to believe that Sanjay Dutt's character is just going to stand there while dozens of guys are offloading their Russian machine guns, which, yeah, I get it, India. You get your machine guns from Russia. I understand. Son of a bitch. But they're just... And there's Sanjay.
Yeah.
You're killing my guys.
And then, like, when Yash went to the police station and shot it up, almost
And,
nobody.
he went to where the prime minister is because no one's going to stop him there.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was really rough for me.
Really disappointing.
Really disappointing.
And you guys know how much we were looking forward to this. And you know how much
and
we liked
rooting for it.
Man.
I mean,
You can't say, we're like, oh, you just don't get any.
and I'll tell you what.
I got the first one.
I'll tell you what. We had a semi-good audience in terms of the number of people. And when it started, whistling, yelling, cheering. After 30 minutes, dead silent. Whole